To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejados de las puertas.
Here's a wild ride in the
When invisibility doors change.
So today on Miles from Main Street, we are talking about how to do Disney inexpensively. I know I've kind of become pro at this. That's usually how I try to do Disney. I haven't really taken any crazy extravagant trips yet. But there are definitely things that you can do to make those trips as affordable as possible.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're able to do a lot of things on a Disney trip to make it as cheap as possible. Obviously, there is a kind of a floor that you're going to have to pay, right? There's a certain level that you're going to have to get to, but there are things that we can do that can save us some money and reduce the amount of cost that you're going to have to spend on this.
So I'm just going to jump in and talk about something real quick because it's just, it's the cheapest thing you can do. And it's not a hack because it's available to anyone who knows these people. But if you know a Disney cast member and they are willing to help you out with a discount on hotels and can possibly even just let you into the park with a main gate pass and stuff like that, that's probably the cheapest way you can do it. The discount on hotels is usually somewhere in the range of 30 to 40%. You will see, you've seen in the past like a 30% discount on hotels through Disney, but I don't think I've ever seen a 40% discount on hotels. That's definitely the largest discount that I've ever gotten on a hotel. But the real discount comes when they're able to just let you into the parks. I try not to rely on that too much. I try not to just constantly ask if certain cast member friends of mine can just let me into the park for free, because that's just kind of taking their day away, or at least their morning away, because most of the time they have to stay with you for a certain amount of time. They can't just let you into the park and then walk away. It's meant to be like your friend comes and hangs out at Disney with you, which I enjoy anyways. I have friends down there that I want to see and I want to hang out with, and I want them to come enjoy Disney with me, so that's always great too. But yeah, I try to only, if I'm going to do that, I will ask my cast members' friends to let me in maybe one day. And that's always good, because if I'm in town and I'm kind of forcing them to go and let me into Disney, I'm kind of forcing them to hang out with me too. So that's always nice to be able to see them and to not have to pay for getting into Disney. Something you do need to understand is they only ever get, I believe it's 2 main gate passes, or it might be 4, so that they can let 3 people in per day. That's what I've heard before. So understand that if you're a family of 5, they can't all let you in. Some people may have to pay, and I've done that before, where there was one day where a friend of mine let in 3 of us, and then two other people had to pay for a ticket. But just, those are the anomalies. Those are the friends are helping you out and making your Disney trip as cheap as possible. So just to recap on that, the Disney cast members have hotel discounts. There's also forget the recap. I'm just going to go back into it. There are also some different ways of booking for cast members. There is a friends and family discount where all they really have to do is either show up at the hotel or email a print of their ID and send it to Disney, and that's how you get the discount. If they don't do that, however, you do have to pay rack rate on your hotel. But there's also where Disney employees will be staying in the hotel, so it's a hotel for themselves. And usually there's a better rate on those than with the friends and family discount. It can go from 30% or to 40% off. So, but that's kind of a wrap up of what Disney cast members can do. It's definitely the cheapest way and the most discounts that you can get if you have a cast member friend. I'm very thankful to have had a couple cast member friends and some that are still working there. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, I've been able to use that benefit a little bit too, and it's always a great thing to have. And obviously that's not something that all of us are able to use, but if you're able to get that perk, I mean, other than that, the next cheapest way of doing it would be to go and work for them, which I've been known to peruse the want ads that they put out on their website. I had, in this day and age of working from home, I'm trying to see if there's anything that I might fit in that position. You never know. You might have. I saw a lot of design jobs out there recently, so maybe take a look at that if that's your field, and you could find another cheap way to visit Disney.
Yeah, Brian, you're probably gonna kick me for telling you this, but Jason, my percussion friend, sends me emails from Disney where they're looking for people to be in the Green Army, probably like every 3 months he sends me those emails that Disney's looking for drummers to be in the Green Army. And I'm always kind of like, well, I mean, I just bought a house in Wisconsin, so, but I mean, yeah, you got hands, Brian, you could go be in the Green Army.
There you go. I'll have to work on that.
Yeah.
The problem is I have a family that melts in that heat, so
yeah,
it's a hard sell. But anyway, other than these wackadoodle ways of trying to find cheap ways to get there, I mean, we're gonna dive into the standard ways that all of us have to go to Disney and pay their rates and pay our way there, and we're going to show you that it doesn't have to be as expensive as you think it is. So, Mikhailo, when you first start looking at going to Disney World, you're looking at staying where? Are you looking at staying at the Contemporary, or are you going to be staying at an all-star resort?
Yeah, so you're going to be wanting to look at the All-Stars. Those are by far the cheapest hotels that you can find on Disney property. They have a special place in my heart because I grew up at them, and they've just always they have a little bit of a Motel 6 vibe, but they're sweet and they're nice, and they're on Disney property. But these all-star resorts, they sit in the value section of resorts. That they are definitely the cheapest places to stay on Disney property.
Yeah, and that's where you're going to want to be looking, right? And so the next thing you might say is, well, why do I need to stay on property? I could stay off property. And this is where we kind of contradict ourselves a little bit, because you might be able to find it cheaper, but we still feel like you're going to have more value if you're staying on property. So with hotels, we might contradict ourselves a little bit, but we also want to give you the best information that we can as far as where you're going to want to stay versus where you can stay. So I was looking today at rates for off-property hotels. I was finding some stuff under $100 a night that is near Disney, not too far. But when you're off-property, you're either dealing with a once or twice a day shuttle bus that's going to maybe just Epcot and Magic Kingdom, and then you have to find a way over to Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom, something like that. So, staying off property comes with a host of issues created with transportation. The easiest way to get past that problem with transportation is to what? Rent a car. Okay, so if you're going to rent a car, that means you're paying for parking. So now we've already added way too much expense. Like, this is not cheap. So let's not rent a car. We don't have to pay for parking then, but we still need to get over there. Maybe we want to Uber, so you need to plan for that. I know you've Ubered from an off-property, Mikhailo. How is it? How did that go?
Honestly, actually probably one of the best experiences I had when I stayed off property. And that's because some of these Ubers, we took an Uber to Animal Kingdom, and we did it early, and we ended up being one of like the first like 5 or 6 cars in line while they opened up the parking lot. And that Uber just like drove us to the front of the park and let us out. So we were like the first people to walk up to the stanchions and get in. And we ended up being like the first group on Flight of Passage and stuff like that. So that was great. That was a pretty decent experience. Now, obviously, the Uber drive was around, I want to say, off property. If you're traveling from off property, it's going to be somewhere around like $15 to $20 for an Uber. So, that's just kind of the nature of the beast of staying off property. The next thing you can do, a lot of these off property hotels are pretty close to Disney Springs, and when I stayed at, I think it's called the Wyndham, which is kind of it's right next to Disney Springs. There's literally a bridge that you can get onto. So it's within walking distance of Disney Springs. We ended up using the bus transportation to a hotel or some hotel that was near the park that we wanted to go to. So it's like if we were going to Magic Kingdom, we'd try to get onto Contemporary. That's what we ended up doing. But if you're going to like Epcot or Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom, most likely you're going to have to get taken to a Disney hotel and then take a bus from there to the park.
And just a side note, one of those with that trick, you're going to want to avoid the busier hotels. So the All-Stars you're not going to want to go to, because then you're just going to end up in a line waiting to get with everyone else. But like I said, side note. So the other, that's a headache, having to walk over and get into a line and wait for a bus, and then get in to a hotel and wait for a bus. But you can save money that way. The problem with the rates that I saw being under $100 a night is it's not including a resort fee and possibly a parking fee at the hotel, right? So you need to be mindful of that when you're booking and when you're comparing prices. I've seen some resort fees down there upwards of $55, $65. So you need to be mindful of what you're doing. I did see a rate for B Resort, which is one that I had been considering for our last trip. They had the rate of $85 a night, but they do charge a $35 resort fee, and that's per night. So how they can, why not just show it as $120? Why split it up like that? Now, on the flip side of that, I was looking at the All-Stars for about the same timeline, and rates started about $160 a night. So you need to kind of, you could save some money there. I think you can save some money there, but you need to realize, the headaches that you may have along with that. And if we're talking about either renting a car or Ubering or something that might have to do with a parking fee, then you're getting even more close to what you're going to be paying at All Stars. So that's something that you need to be careful of and just kind of consider as you're doing it. Now, Mikhailo, you had been looking at a fake trip in February. We had been both talking about how this might work out. Do you want to go over some of that?
Yeah, so let's go through this. Our fake trip is during the fake down season of Disney, because Disney actually doesn't have a down season anymore, technically. But usually February is like your sweet spot. That's kind of like when you want to go. Things that's always historically been the down season, but really we're just not seeing a down season anymore. But that's what I booked it for. We're looking at February 21st through the 25th. Now, the reason I did that, we're looking at 5 days, 4 nights. So we're looking at February 21st through the 25th. That's 5 days, 4 nights. One of the big reasons I did that is because you're paying for less days. If you want to do Disney on the cheap, go for less days. That's just less days at the park, less days that you're paying for a hotel. It's just less money in the long run. What you want to do is and this is just what I usually tend to suggest to people. You can do a 4-day park ticket and utilize all 4 days that you're there. However, I do like to say, the first day that you're getting in, depending on your flight, you don't even know what time you're going to be getting in. You don't even know what time you're going to be able to get to the park and how much park time you're going to have. So I will say that often you'll want to do a 3-day park ticket. And I say that because there are certain parks that some people will consider half-day parks. That can be parks like Animal Kingdom. That can be parks like Epcot. I would never in a million years consider Epcot a half-day park, but some people might. So what you can do is you can include a park hopper into your ticket admission. And you can go to 2 full days at 2 parks, and then 1 park, make each park a half day. So in that, you're paying for less park days. You're paying for less tickets. So we've got a room at All Star Sports. Now, All Star Sports is usually the cheapest of the 3 All-Stars. We've got sports, music, and movies. Now, I say usually because when I booked this, it was interesting. They were all 3 the same price, $197 a night. I did find that interesting. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. I usually do see a couple different prices. Usually, movies and music will be the same price, and sports will be a little bit cheaper. But interesting that it wasn't that way when I did this. So we're looking at $897.79 for just the hotel. That's only the hotel. If you were to go there and just do hotel stuff, that's how much it would cost you. Adding on a 3-day park ticket, that will jack up, and we're also including the park hopper option on this. That will jack your price up to $2,483.37. And we're looking at this with 3 people ages 10 and up.
So looking at the hotel alone, you're looking at about $225 a night at the All-Star Resort. And you need to think about what kind of amenities you're getting. You're going to get the half-hour early entry at whatever park you're going to that day. You're going to get the free transportation on buses from All-Star Sports to wherever you're wanting to go. And you're going to get, other Disney things that they include, the Magic Bands, the discount on the Magic Bands, I guess it is now. But, you'll get a few different amenities that comes along with those nights. But that is a little bit more than staying off property. So, we're talking cheap. Cheap is the only thing we're looking at. Like, we're giving you what we think you should do based on how we feel about it. But if we're going complete numbers, you may actually save a little bit of money off property. So you mentioned tickets. And we talked about this last week on the expensive episode. Tickets are tickets. Disney doesn't discount tickets. That's one of their things. They just don't do it. You might be able to get, like you were talking about, the cast member type of discount, but you're not going to get much of a discount anywhere else. So you were looking at a 3-day ticket, and it was 3 adults. Can you give me that number one more time?
So if we're looking at tickets for 2 adults and 1 child, and this is just tickets alone, we're looking at $1,326.81. And just so you know, the Disney ticket prices, they kind of fluctuate the same way that hotel prices fluctuate through the week. I'm looking at February the 21st, the 22nd, the 23rd. Those are all $140 per ticket. That's not the child tickets are going to be less than that, but this is your normal base ticket. And then you save, Brian, get this, you save $1 on the 24th and the 25th. They come out to be $139 a day for tickets. So do understand that they will fluctuate based on, I think it's just kind of like how busy they think the park is going to be.
So when I divide that out straight out for 3 people, and then divide out by the 3 days, I come to about $147 a day per ticket. Mm-hmm. So my argument last week, and I'll give it to you again, you need to think about the value you're getting in these tickets. That's about $12 an hour of entertainment. Some of the best entertainment you're going to get in the world for $12 an hour per person. My kids, my family, a lot of my friends, they love doing escape rooms. And lately, this is the one that I've been going to, because it drives me crazy to think that I'm dropping $35 a person for 1 hour of banging my head against the wall trying to get out of a room. Okay? Now, these are fun. I have enjoyed them. When I go, I always go, oh my gosh, it's $35 for 1 hour of fun. I could go ride Splash Mountain a couple of times for that $35. So at $12 an hour, I think you're doing pretty darn good as far as fun can be, right? Mm-hmm. Now, there are certain discounts you can get through Disney when you book a package versus room only and doing the tickets separately. But if you look at doing it separately, you might be able to save some money. There is a website out there called undercovertourist.com. It's well known. They work directly with Disney. They are actually in their system. And so when you're buying their tickets, they're seeing live data as far as park reservations go. So they work directly with Disney. You can get a small discount. And I'm looking at that same time frame that Michaela was looking at, 3-day ticket, and that comes to $432 for an adult for that ticket. And if we divide that out for 3 days, you're looking at 144 days, or $144 $4. I'm sorry. So you're saving $3 to $4 a day, right? So over 3 tickets, you can save $36. So there, you could save a little bit. That way, if you're staying off property and you're just buying your tickets from Disney, you could go through Undercover Tourist and save a few dollars that way. But when you're doing a package, more likely it's going to be more beneficial for you to just do it all with Disney. But that's an option. Undercovertourist.com will get you a slight discount on tickets. So I think that's probably enough headbanging on tickets. There are other things we can do, though, isn't there?
Yeah. One of the things I kind of wanted to talk about, and this is something that I'm kind of notorious with in my vacations so far, and it's something that I haven't always done. And I'm sure people go to Disney and don't even really think about how much they're going to be spending on food. And so that is something to really take into account. You can go all the way cheap, and Disney will let you enter the park with your own food. The only thing you can't bring is a cooler. Like, you can't bring a cooler of ice and drinks and stuff like that. But you can fill a backpack up with chips and sandwiches and stuff like that, and they don't care. And that could be your lunch and dinner for the day.
Actually, you can bring a soft-sided cooler in. Just be nice to security. Maybe put the ice separately into a Ziploc bag or something, so that security doesn't have to reach in there and dig around in the ice to make sure you're not hiding something inside the ice. Just one thing to consider. But yes, you can bring a soft-sided cooler in. You cannot bring in a cooler that would roll around, though.
Yes. But that is, I mean, the cheapest way to do dining if you wanted to just make yourself sandwiches. However, I do feel like eating at Disney, some of the best meals I've had in my lifetime have been at Disney. So I would suggest at least eating a little bit at Disney. Even I would also suggest trying to have a sit-down meal at Disney. That would be great. I will have sit-down meals almost every day now at this point in my vacations, and I need to slow down. Like, I need to cool it with these sit-down reservations. But I love eating at Disney. I love experiencing these new restaurants. But that could be something where if you want to do Disney on the cheap, I mean, you're totally fine with eating Disney hot dogs and going to Cosmic Rays and just finding these cheaper options of food. Or you can also just, I mean, pack your food. They are totally cool with that.
I actually know someone that recently took a trip and they had groceries delivered to their room, and she told me that they ate every meal out of their room. She spent a total of $30 in the parks on food because of how well she did with her grocery shopping. So I don't know what she spent on her groceries. I'm sure it was less than what she would have spent on meals for her family of 5 in the parks. So I think that, if you really want to plan it out, you can really save some money on food.
Something else you can do is you could rent an Airbnb with a kitchen, and you could stay off property and have a kitchen to be able to make all your meals in.
And I've seen that. I have seen houses for $99 a night, like condos, couple bedrooms, and you can get in there and rent them and get, that kitchen, and you're cooking meals for everybody. You can find some of these swanky places. If you've got enough people, you can split it up and have a place that you can cook all this great food that you're getting from the grocery store. So, definitely consider that as an option as well. When it comes to eating, maybe you don't want to worry about packing food for the day. I mean, it can get difficult to get those meals together for the entire day, right? But you could do some meals in the park and maybe just bring some chips and some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for lunch, right? But when you go to a restaurant and sit down, or even a quick service, we found that splitting a meal can save you a lot of money because the portions that Disney gives you are huge. I think these burgers are at least a 1/3 pound burger. If you go that route, a salad is going to be ginormous. I have never finished the fruit and Nutella waffle by myself, partially because everyone else wants it, but you can definitely go and split these meals. My wife and I went without the kids, and almost everything we did, we ordered some sort of appetizer and then split an entree. And I've told this story in the past, and I'll tell it one more time. We went to the Big River Grill, which is also a brewery in the Boardwalk area, and they split our meal for us when they brought it out. And we had ordered meatloaf, came on some mashed potatoes, I think with some green beans, some gravy. They brought it out, already split up, and put it on 2 different plates in front of us. And I said, "This is supposed to be split." And he said, "Yeah, we split it." I had this ginormous piece of meatloaf with another half a piece on top of it, right? Like laying on top of mashed potatoes. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe the amount of food I was getting split up. So you can definitely split meals down there, like especially if you're eating snacks and you're eating all the other stuff. Split some meals, you'll save some money.
Yeah, and me and my fiance, it's fun to say that on the podcast. I think that's the first time I've said that on the podcast, other than the last episode when we told you guys. But my fiance and I, we do tend to share stuff. Usually we'll try to kind of share lunch and snack type stuff, and then when it comes to dinner, we'll have our own plates, but we'll pick off of each other's plates as well. But yeah, it's another great hack. Yeah,
definitely. And along with the food portion, you can bring in soda too. So if you like to have a soda during the day, bring that with you. You can do it. Water is always the big thing though, right? Like we all need our water, especially in that heat. Make sure you're getting your water. I love that they're doing this now. Like you can find water stations. I believe Casey's is one of them, where they just have ice water sitting out with cups ready to go. You can pour it out of a pitcher type of, has like a spigot on it type of thing. I don't know what they're called, but you can a big pitcher of water with a spigot and fill up the cup. Anyway, that was really hard to say. I don't know.
I hope you know I'm keeping this in. Anytime I want to keep stuff in, I butt in and say that so that it keeps the episode going. But we're totally keeping that in.
So anyway, yeah, you can get, Starbucks is one that had started this with the water. Like they just have it sitting out so they don't have to serve you water. So a side note, if you can't drink the tap water in Florida, Starbucks has a higher threshold of how they want their water. So it's already filtered. What they put out, you're going to get filtered water right there. I like to bring a Brita filtered water bottle. We actually brought 2 of them. I think I got 2 of them on Amazon for maybe $30 total. And they were lifesavers. We could go up to any quick service that has a fountain soda, and that has water, so you can get free water. You don't have to wait in line. You just walk up to the counter where they're handing out the food and say, "Hey, can I get a cup of water?" And they'll hand you one. And then we would dump that into those water bottles, and it would be filtered. My kids had no problem doing that because they won't drink the tap water down there. But put it through a filter like that, and they're happy. And there are water fountains around the parks. Sometimes they're hard to find, but you can find them. Don't spend $4 on a bottle of water unless that's your thing, and then you've got that budgeted. But you don't have to spend $4 on that bottle of water. You can get it for free.
So today on Miles from Main Street, we are now water from Main Street. We second straight episode we've talked about water, but I mean it's a great hack, and I honestly think, Brian, you're gonna have to send me a link to those Brita filters, because I think that's definitely something we want to try, because Kristen and I just do not like that park water. I know, Brian, you'll glug it down and you won't have a big issue with it, but we definitely taste it. And so we may give that a try. And if that helps, because it does kind of, after the first couple, especially being in Wisconsin and being in Madison, I know that the state of Wisconsin's water is marginally better than a lot of other states. I have a friend who grew up in Colorado, and he can attest to the big difference in water from Colorado to Wisconsin. But the first couple drinks, we were just like, it's just this park water. It's just this Florida water. It's just not great. And it kind of changes where you want to get water from. It kind of changes if there's a spigot here, maybe I don't want to get it from there. Maybe I want to get it from Casey's. But I mean, when it comes down to it, it's all the same water, really. But it does kind of put you in that mindset of I need to be a little bit more selective of what water we get. I have bought the $4 water before because I was just so over that park water. But I feel like those Brita filters, that might be a game changer for us. We may need to look into that.
Well, I highly recommend them. Every trip, they're wonderful. And you can replace the filter, so you don't have to buy a new water bottle every time. So I definitely recommend getting them. I'll throw the link in the show notes. I do not have any type of affiliate link with Amazon, so if you guys choose to buy it, you're not helping me out.
But Amazon, if you're listening, we would definitely like to plug anything Amazon.
So yeah, I think those water bottles really help. And side note to your park water, as you called it, there have been times that I've ordered a fountain Coke, and I feel like I can taste that park water within the Coke.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just they're not filtering. Their filter is dirty or whatever at that moment, but I don't know. But yeah, I felt that. Tasted it. Anyway, the last item I have, and I don't know if you have any other tips over there, but the last item I have is one that I don't really like. And we've discussed this quite a while ago. And I know you agree with me, but you could bring your own souvenirs. And I've seen people do this where they might go to the dollar store. I've seen people asking online, what could I buy to hand my son when he's begging for XYZ toy, right? The reason I don't like this is that I feel like there is some tangibility to buying it in the park and being able to say, I bought this from Disney World. Now, right, I understand. Kids don't care. They don't. They do not care. I know at some point it would register in my mind, oh, I bought this at wherever place I was at. So your kids, at what age they're going to care. But at some point they don't care. Mm-hmm. So if you want to bring your own souvenirs in from the dollar store, more power to you. If you're getting to Disney World and that's a way you're saving money so you can get your family there, I think you've done yourself a good thing. You're doing your family a good service. You're creating those memories. Who cares where the souvenir's coming from? right? So Dollar Store, Dollar General has a lot of cool stuff. Did we talk about our resort cup from Marceline?
We didn't. I don't think we mentioned that, but we found Disney cups in Marceline at the dollar store, and we bought them as if they were our resort cups when we were at Disney.
Yes, and then we went back to our hotel room that evening and used those resort cups as we were snacking away and watching. What were we watching? I think we were watching Behind the Attraction.
Oh yeah,
on Disney Plus.
Yep.
And, yeah, so like, when you stay at a resort, you get a resort mug with your unlimited refills. So we had to get our resort cups, and they were these 50-cent plastic cups with Mickey and Minnie with 4th of July designs on them, I believe. So we've kept them in the house. My daughter uses one when she's brushing her teeth. It's great to have. I was glad we did that. But there you go. Like, you can find Disney anywhere. And if you can find a resort cup for 50 cents, do it. I have bought plenty of the resort mugs over at our thrift shop for 25 cents a mug because I think they're cool. So I keep amassing this collection that my wife's getting tired of, but...
Yeah, and I kind of have a new hack. And Brian, you may have heard of it, and we may have even talked about it a little bit. But something that I'm going to try to do on my next trip is get myself over to the I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's like the Disney Character Warehouse. And
oh, right.
Yeah, it's basically like the discontinued Disney items. It's just like a store of like super discounted Disney things. And I mean, if that's what you want to do, if you want to go there first, or maybe go there last, because a lot of people talk about how you can tell your kids, oh, we can get this at the end. And it's usually a good idea to say that because you don't want to be walking around with bags everywhere. It's usually a good idea to get the shopping done at the end. So then you're just basically just walking to the hotel with all your bags. But if you want to say like, hey, at the end of the vacation, we'll go somewhere and we'll get a whole bunch of Disney things. They're the things that were in a lot of them I saw on my last trip that I now see at this place. So it's all park stuff. It's all Disney parks branded things. It's just like super discounted. I think when I was watching a video, the biggest discount I saw was they had one of those Lionel Christmas trains there for like $50. Usually those things go for like $150 to $200. Like that was insane. It was just $50. So it's heavily discounted stuff.
I've bought Star Wars glasses, kitchen glasses, for $1 there. They probably were $15 cups at first. Mm-hmm. They have had Doonies in the past. They have lots of lounge flies. The lounge flies, I want to say, and I'm talking those little mini backpacks that everyone's been buying. I want to say you can get them down to $25 at some points there. So you can get really good deals there. And if you want an idea of where it is, there's an outlet mall on the other side of the highway from Disney Springs, and that's where it's located. I don't know what access is like. During COVID, they were running a virtual queue that would take 3 to 4 hours to get through because they were limiting capacity. I don't know what it's like now. I think it's getting back to normal where you just kind of go in and do your shopping. But yeah, you can get really good deals on a lot of this stuff right there. And that's one location. There's a second location. I want to say it's over by like Millennium Mall or something. I'm not really sure. And that one I've been wanting to try because I've always gone to the Vineland one. But the other one, people have tended to say has better stock, and it's not as busy because it's not right there by Disney Springs. So, something to consider. It's going to be a little bit further of a drive. So if you're Ubering, you're going to be spending more to get over there. But the other one is, maybe 15 minutes from Disney Springs. It's not far. So definitely go check those out. You can save a ton of money, Spirit jerseys for $25, I think. Ears, you can get ears for less than $10. Did you found the Mummy Mickey Mouse popcorn bucket for $15, right?
Yeah, and they had a lot of those when I was looking. And so and it's the cool thing about it is that it's Disney things that if you were in Disney and you had seen them, like most likely I probably would have bought that if I saw it at Disney, but I'd be able to go to this other place and spend maybe $15 on it. So I think it's a huge game changer. Definitely something that we are going to try while we're there. I did have a question, Brian. How did you get there from Disney Springs? Did you walk? Like, are you able to walk over there?
I don't know. I mean, you would be walking under I-4 to get there. You could. It's going to be a bit of a walk to get there. I got there because I had a car. We drove down. I've been there twice, and both times I've been there twice with a car, and both times we drove over there. Once we were camping, and once on this last trip last year when we kind of decided to go last minute, and I couldn't afford to pay what they wanted for airline tickets at that point. But like I said, it's an Uber from Disney Springs. It's a 15-20 minute drive maybe, and that's with having to stop at stoplights. So whatever you think that might translate into for an Uber drive, if you wanted to do that, that's pretty much your options: finding a ride or driving yourself. So, but it's well worth getting over there for sure. Just don't buy the candy. The candy's not discounted.
Well, we definitely talked about a lot of ways to kind of cut those corners of paying a lot at Disney. It's funny just talking through this. I do a very terrible job of this because of all the things that I just want to do at Disney. So you can definitely, we've shown you guys that there's a way to do Disney on the cheap and not have to pay through the nose for Disney. But when it comes down to it, if it's something that you like to do and something that you do feel like you want to throw a good amount of money at, go for it. I think our next one of these we're going to be doing how to do Disney most expensively. So that one might be, I am not well versed at all in that. So that might take a little bit of research on our end to go see what the most expensive Disney trip we can put together in our minds is. But I think that one might be. I have
some ideas in mind already.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty fun to do that, anyways.
Yeah. Well, yeah, guys. If you've enjoyed listening to this show, we could really use your help. Go on out, let somebody know. If you want to really power us up, let 2 people know. Share this out. Let them know that you're enjoying this show and that they would enjoy it as well. We'd love to have more people come in and join the conversation and hear the show. So please do that.
Well, I think that was a pretty decent episode. What do you think, Brian?
Yeah, I love talking cheap Disney. However you can save some money. I love it.
Yeah, but remember, some live close,
but others don't.
So let's talk about it. We'll see you next time on Miles from Main Street.